Hello, everybody. Today I'm joined by Ben and the gorgeous Richard and Tony from UK Games Expo to talk about their plans for 2021. Hello, gentlemen. How's it going?
I just wanted to check something there. Is it the gorgeous Richard and Tony?
No.
It's all encompassing.
It's been lockdown. I know I'm slipping.
So how's it going for you? It's been a trying year for everybody, especially when it comes to conventions and exhibitions. So it's been a little bit on the cusp, I think.
Yes, we have been living, as they say, in interesting times. So we're still here. We're still alive. We're still kicking. This has been a really difficult time. First of all, with the postponement of the first show, then the cancellation, and now still, even with vaccine rollout, this looking at a June show, which is one of the main reason for coming and talking to you guys today, is to let people know that there is going to be a change now. Mm-hmm. And because of the pandemic, and although the vaccine rollout is going very well and appears to be steaming ahead, we felt that the odds of being able to run a show in June were shortening quite a lot. We don't want to run a show that puts people at risk, but we have now secured new date lines from the NEC, which was a surprise to us because we had asked multiple times and there was never any room. But we went back with just one more time, and they've given us a new date line. So we are going to be postponing this year's show to July 30th to the 1st of August. So that will be rerunning from the July 30th to the 1st of August, giving us an extra full 2 months for those vaccines to take effect, for the R number to drop, and to give us a possibility of running a show for the first time now, nearly, 2 years?
It's strange how things pan out. And I suppose from the point of view of keeping everybody safe, that 8-week sort of window that you've got now just helps things along, because if there are any slippages as far as the sort of government rollout goes, then you've got breathing room, because having it in June, and I think the vaccine plan was due to end in June, so if there was any sort of slight upsets there, it would have just cut into your time. There's not much flex there.
Yes, and you need time to put things together as well. So it's no good if Boris says on the Friday before the show, you can go.
Quickly phoning everybody.
It's that ability to be able to plan ahead, which a lot of people need, particularly the exhibitors, but ourselves as well, and also visitors. And with the June date line, we were going to have to be making a decision at yay or nay, essentially in March, which could be too early. Probably too early, isn't it? But giving ourselves that extra 8 weeks gives us a chance to see changes that will give us an opportunity to perhaps run at the end of July. That's our hope that allows that. And I think our responses that we've had so far from the sponsors and the exhibitors has been positive. That does increase the chances from their point of view of being able to attend.
I should give a shout out. I can't remember who the name was, but somebody on Facebook said, "Can't you just move the show?" And I did reply saying, well, these things are normally planned up to 3 years in advance, and so it's not possible, really. But I remember going away from that and think, I'll just ask one more time.
Yes, from such things.
So could you give us like a little sort of a brief overview of the shape of the show as you see it right now, sort of what form it might take?
We have halls. We don't have the hall one this coming year. We have managed to get ourselves crowbarred, however, into halls 2 and 3. Bits and pieces of the Plaza and the Toot Suite that people might remember, and some parts of the Hilton is yet to be determined, and the outside spaces as well. So it'll be a bit of a different shape to what people are used to, and 22 will be back to our 3 halls. But we're thinking that that'll give us enough capacity and space to do what we want to do this year. And there's an awful lot of planning to come up to see exactly what's going to go in there. But the core of the show, the important parts will be, which is all about gaming, will be there. And more details will come in weeks and months to come.
Yes, and the shape of the show will be different in that we are planning 2 versions of the show at the moment. We thought planning one version wasn't complicated enough.
Let's do 2.
We were more on the Catan end of a board game, and now we're moving more towards sort of Gloomhaven, Arms end of the spectrum.
Stomach ulcers won't grow themselves, you need to
have,
sprinkle in the stress.
So literally, I have my famous map. So I have a full version of the show and a socially distanced show.
Right.
And we will wait and see what is possible. But those socially distance is all about safety, isn't it? So if we in a scenario where we can't have as many people and they've all got to be a lot more spaced out, is it still possible for us to get together? And there are the rules and regulations and things we've looked at carefully, and we believe we can deliver a safe socially distant show within the confines of what will be permitted. But we're still going to wait and see what's permitted, because that's evolving all the time.
Yeah.
And we will announce the details.
Now gamers will be great.
So yes.
Isn't that the dream?
Yes.
Here's a question you may not be able to answer now, because I know you're only contacting the likes of the exhibitors, but a lot of people who tuned into the virtual expo tuned in from around the world. They stated they wouldn't normally be able to get to the UKG. And they were quite happy with what was on offer there. Is that something that you think that the exhibitors will possibly want to continue with, or do you think that that'll be a reset back to just being there on the day kind of thing?
I think what discussions we've had, and the difficulty is, it takes quite a lot of staff to run a virtual thing. I mean, you guys probably know better than anyone. To run online stuff is technically complicated, produce good content, time consuming. And when you put all your staff into a physical show, it's then how do you staff the virtual online experience? And we would have the same difficulty. In fact, in order to solve that, that's why we have OnTableTop come in and do all of our online stuff, because we couldn't do it at the same time as running a physical show. We're too busy shoveling Daleks round and these kinds of things.
Making sure Vikings don't hunt people down and all that kind of thing.
That's right, yeah, making sure Vikings don't chop their own finger off with an axe. Failed so far. So there's all of those sorts of things. So I know people enjoyed that, but I would suspect elements of it will come in. Companies will go, well, this bit worked and we can do some of that. But that will, again, be down to individual companies. And then our real online presence will be you guys. That partnership has always been valuable. And we'd already planned for last time to bring more of the content that you're producing during the show into the show so that people can see it. So we've got, half a dozen, 10 large monitor screens so that we can stream it live into the show, so that as you're going around you can see it and listen to it into the coffee areas and stuff like that. So I think that's what will happen with that. I mean, there's certainly elements of Virtual Expo that we're going to incorporate into the show. Ability to book stuff and see stuff online much more. But we'd already done that for this year and for last year anyway. We'd rewritten the entire website to work on a mobile first platform, which of course then didn't happen.
So on some of the other sort of key points that a lot of visitors will need to know, sort of things about sort of accommodation and ticketing and that kind of thing, sort of what's your sort of outlook on that right now?
With accommodation, we're talking to the hotels. The information will come out on our accommodation page in fairly soon, the next couple of weeks or so. The bottom line is they'll be looking at what to do with people's bookings.
Right.
Our best and there will be new links and all that stuff to get your new bookings done on that site fairly quickly. So the best thing is to check the accommodation page out, and that will give you that information. The one key bit of information is, as we've said the last couple of times that we postponed and all this sort of thing, is whatever you do, get cancelable rooms, because this is a very uncertain time.
Don't book anything you can't cancel. We'd love to run the show. We're doing everything we can to run the show. we can't guarantee a show at this time. So don't book accommodation you then can't get your money back on.
Yeah.
Please check that, double check it, and make sure that you're not in a position where you've spent a whole load of accommodation money you can't get back.
Right. Yeah.
So in terms of ticketing, we have a certain number of people who rolled tickets over.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. I have received the odd thing where people are saying, "Did I get event ticket money back?" If you booked anything for an event last year, you've had a refund. You just need to check around about the 16th of Feb, when we refunded all of the events at that point, when we knew we couldn't run in June.
Mm-hmm.
If you kept your tickets rolled over, it doesn't matter what the price of the ticket is for this show, your ticket is valid. So if you've got a 3-day ticket, it's a 3-day ticket if you rolled it over. Even if the prices are different this year, as depending on what we're doing, socially distanced to normal, your ticket is valid and should be showing on your ticket page. If you log into your customer account, if it says 3-day tickets there, it might still say 2020 on the ticket, but that's just because we haven't changed that ticket description yet, and we update that. It's just your ticket is valid and is there.
So if people are interested, if they've already got a ticket, they can go to the ukgamesexpo.co.uk website and check it out. If you had a ticket from last year, if you haven't yet bought your ticket, is this also the best place to go?
Yes, I mean, the best thing to do is if you sign up for the newsletter, which I think is at the bottom of that page, or if you follow us on Facebook, again, the social links are at the bottom there in the bottom corner, and the stay informed section there. If you use either one of those are probably the best way to get news. That will come out. Those are the first ways in which we release it, all through following you guys on Tabletop, where again we release major news first about Expo. If you do that, then you'll be sure to know. But we're probably aiming for about Easter. To some extent, if you watch Boris, and if he makes a major change in terms of lockdown and what can be done, that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for news. It's now safe to do things in whatever manner they deem safe, and that's will be the trigger point. We, like the rest of the country, are waiting on the public health response for this. We want to keep. It's not worth running a show if we end up killing people. And that's the reality. And we've got to be honest about this. Is if it's done badly, then people die. And I think sometimes it's all a bit what's the word? It's a bit cliched and nice and covered up. Well, no, that's actually what's happening. And so we just want to make sure people are safe and we can run a show. Both of those things have to happen.
You're having a Q&A next week as well on Twitch to talk about some of these things?
Indeed, yes. So that's our UKG Twitch channel that we sort of launched for the Virtually Expo, and Amelia runs it, and Kate have been doing it on and off since then. Interviews with publishers, all that kind of thing. And I think they're starting the New Year's schedule next Wednesday. I think it starts at 12 o'clock. And Tony and I will be on there, and you can come on there and ask any questions, really. And we'll do our best to answer them. Those that we know the answer.
Richard will be contacting you, as we speak, really, regarding your bookings and your rollovers. But if you're an exhibitor, if you're a volunteer, if you're an attendee, if you're just curious, then that Q&A gives you the opportunity to ask all the questions. And now we're not guaranteeing we've got all the answers at this point, but we can give it our best shot.
Indeed. Yeah.
Well, I've got everything crossed for you so that everything sort of comes together at the end of July. Hopefully it'll all work out. So,
yeah, it would be good. This will be the fourth time, I think, now we've tried to run this particular.
Still got legs. People still want to see it. They will come if you.
We'll be back.
Isn't that it?
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, it's a pleasure speaking to you as always. If anybody has any questions that we haven't covered and you can't make it to the Twitch stream next week, if you want to pop them down below, I'll keep an eye on the chat and try and pass them across to Tony and Richard to try and get you an answer Eventually. We may not have it immediately, but we'll get you an answer eventually. So until then, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Keep safe.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.